Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, bringing you set 2 of the ODT Group C. This is going to be Jangbi, the reason I am casting this group, against S2. And looking at this group, I actually predict Jangbi and S2 to both make it out of this group. S2 has looked very, very good recently for SKT1. Actually, S2 and Su both have looked good, which is shocking that both of SKT's Zergs have looked, or two of SKT's Zergs. They got others, like Hyuk, that are playing well at the same time. It's not very common that both of them are, that more than one of them is playing well at any given day, much as any given, like, legit time period. But right now, S2 and Su are both playing pretty well, and they both advance into the OSL as well, or the ODT, whatever you want to, yeah, let's say OSL, whatever, it's the OSL. While Bisu and Best did not, S2 and Su did, which is kind of ironic. A little bit, but we are going to have Jamie spawning at the top right in yellow, and then the bottom left in white, beige. I'm surprised I didn't actually change the colors. It's going to be S2, the Zerg. So we'll see what Jamie has in store for us. He's won his most recent couple of PVZs actually on alternative. Another two-player map, a kind of a much weirder looking map, I would say, than New Bloody Ridge, with the it's got like a droppable mineral gas expansion above your base that nobody actually ends up taking because it's so easy to harass from the outside that no one ends up taking it. So it's basically like a wasted base. I think I've only seen it taken like once or twice, and in all of those cases it ended up like backfiring because it just gets harassed from the other side, from outside your base, and it's so hard to stop that. So yeah, I don't really like some aspects of that map just due to their, in my opinion, pointlessness, but is what it is. Jangbi doing the same thing that Shuttle did, actually. He's actually throwing up his gateway rather than his forge first, so he's going to be looking to do some early harassment as well with his first couple zealots, and we'll see if he's able to have any success. And it looks like S2 is doing the same thing that... Oh, no, never mind. Well, maybe. I think he's going to go to that third spot and put down his natural, or what should have been his natural expansion. I think he's going to put at the third base again. Yeah, this has just become so common for Zergs to do this. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that they all do it. I don't think the benefits are that great. I don't think it's that big a deal, but I guess they all prefer to do it this way. And, well, hey, if it's not a big deal and you find that it helps you a little bit, then do it. And so that's what's going to happen here. We do have a pool first build once again from S2, similar to Shines, and he's going to have some Zerglings out, and he actually built one pair of Zerglings along with a couple of drones, so perhaps there is room here for a Zealot harassment with only two Zerglings out right now, and it looks like S2 is looking to take his third base at his natural expansion, so there may actually be an opportunity here for Jamie to do some work with his Zealot, and he's moving that Zealot around. He's trying to find a gap where maybe his opponent S2 wouldn't see that Zealot coming in there, but now he is going to see it, and he's actually going to send out a second Zealot as well, so he's just going to be starting to stream Zealots in here, and the Zealot and the probe right now looking to take down a Zergling, a couple more Zerglings being built by S2, and another Zealot coming into the play from Jangbi right now, so we'll see if Jangbi really decides to push this, and I don't think he is, because he put up his natural expansion Nexus, seeing that the pool came up first, realizing that, well, I guess my Zealot harassment probably isn't going to be too successful. And this is actually really audacious of Jangbi right now, to throw up his Nexus right now when all he's got at home is like one Zealot. I don't think he has a forge, he has no cannons, and he's using his Zealots to block the shortest possible route into... from one base to the other. However, he's not guarding like the upper ramps or the lower ramps at all, which is really, really dangerous of him to play it this way. But he is doing it like this, and the Overlord at his natural expansion actually scouting this all out. I'm kind of surprised to see S2 not trying to go for some sort of a run by here and just go around one of the ramps, and he might actually be looking to do that as he's chasing this probe around. And no, I think S2 is just going to miss his opportunity here. I think this was a great opportunity for S2 to kind of punish Jangbi for being really audacious. He had vision of it and everything, so not going to go for a round. Not going to send even like 4 Zerglings or something around one of the sides. But I think at this point Jangbi has retreated with his Zealots to his natural expansion, so now it's going to become very difficult for any sort of invasion, and we're gonna have a very similar to a wall that we saw from Shuttle, with that forge and gateway out in front and the cannons kind of behind. So that forge is very exposed right now. If there is some sort of a Hydra build, Hydra break coming from S2, that forge will probably not survive unless Jangbi is in really good shape to defend, like really good shape to defend, and he's got an army and stuff out already, which usually doesn't happen against the Hydra breaks. Protoss players usually just don't have much of an army at that point. and they're building and they're defending with minimal units and cannons. So we'll see what kind of a build S2 goes for, if he goes for a 4th base or anything like that. No, we have the Hydra 10, so it's going to be a very similar game to last time. No, it is not. We're not watching the same game with the positions flipped. It is just two very similar builds. In both games from both players, and well, I guess I should say all 4 players doing very similar builds. Finally, the Zerglings catching that probe and taking it down, but there are a lot of Zealots there to defend that choke. So these Zerglings that have been produced are not going to do much of anything, just like last game where we saw a lot of Zerglings produced and taking the place of what should have been normally a lot of drones, where you see a lot of Zerglings this time once again. This time there's not as many Zerglings died since the Zealots did not engage, but at the same time, there's more Zealots around, so works both ways in this game. There's more Zealots, there's more Zerglings in this game than the previous, but it's still very similar overall in terms of strategies, and very few drones for SU, so few drones. And the Corsair scouting out the Hydralisk, and he sees it. Now we see a couple more cannons coming up for Jangbi. He knows what's coming his way. He knows that there's a 3-hatch Hydra coming his way. He goes into the natural expansion, sees 1 drone mining minerals. I wonder what's coming my way. He's got to be sitting there like, alright, I think I know. There's a lot of Hydras outside my natural, isn't there? So here we go. The Hydra is starting to pick at some of these Zealots out in front. They've got the range in order to outdistance those cannons, and Jangbi looks like he's willing to absorb a lot of shots right now just to stop some of these Hydras from getting in here. And the Hydras looking to try and take down a cannon before the rest of them warp in, but I don't think he's going to have a lot of success. He might actually be able to stop one. Zergling's actually starting to stream in there as well, but Zealot really doing a great job of containing that aggression, containing those Zerglings. So those Zerglings unable to get through. S2 losing a lot of units there. I think he only killed like 1 or 2 Zealots as well as 1 cannon. So he lost a lot of Zerglings, and he's lost a few Hydras as well. So not a very good attack right now from S2 so far. This 3-hatch Hydra break not working very well in his favor. And this Corsair for Jangbi, both Corsairs for Jangbi, doing a great job picking at Overlords. There is no Spire, remember, there's no Spire, which really makes it hard for Zerg players to deal with Corsairs with just pure Hydralisk, especially when you're going for a Hydra break. You need your Hydras out in front, and if all your Hydras are at home defending your Overlords, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's one of the ways to defend a Hydra break is with Corsairs, just constantly picking at Overlords and being a nuisance. It's actually very effective. And one of the things I was screaming at Shuttle to do last game because I wanted him to kill them faster. But eventually he did get to it, and it did end up working. And it looks like all of the Hydras are dead at the front. So this 3-hatch Hydra break, there's no Hydras left. So now there's 3 Corsairs picking at this Overlord. And if there's no Overlords out in front, all it takes is 1 DT to stop this push. So things are looking terrible for S2. And there is the DT, and he's actually just going to push out with this DT. Doesn't even need to worry about anything because there aren't enough Hydras to break him. Look at that. There's 6 cannons, and there's only about like 8 Hydras even on the field right now, and the Corsairs now going into the natural expansion. Going to see all of these Overlords, going to have a huge opportunity to start picking at the Overlord numbers, and S2 just looking in terrible shape right now. We do have one Hydra's out to defend all these Overlords, and a second, but that second just wandering by, but all these Overlords go down. Look at this, and here comes the Hydra link break. He's going to try and bust through here. Probes off the line to guard the front, and JJ coming from S2 and Sue, or S2 and Shine, both failing with their 3-hatch Hydra breaks. Jangbi and Shuttle both dominating them with Gateway first builds. So fantastic play by both players, both of our Protoss players. They are going to advance into the winners game, so we're going to have a PvP in the winners game. We're going to have a ZVZ in the losers game, as Jangbi and Shuttle really dominated S2 and Shine. I would say Jangbi dominated S2, whereas Shuttle beat Shine, whereas Jangbi dominated S2. This game was not very close, to be honest. This game was not close. Jangbi really had S2's number this entire time. S2 really did not put much fear into Jangbi with his attack. So Jangbi gets a well-deserved victory here. We're gonna go on to which is next. Do you do losers match first or winners match first? I think you do winners first. So yeah, we're gonna go do the winners match, which is gonna be Jangbi versus Shuttle, a PvP on Gladiator. I will see you guys all there.